Travel and Things in association with Rugged Wear, Real People, Real Clothing, Real Solutions presents In Conversation With. My name is David Batsoff and I'm your host. But before we get to today's guest, winter is not only coming, winter is here. And Rugged Wear has got just the quality clothing to make sure that you kept warm and cozy. And especially if you're going to be out and about, I know Hazyview can be a very cold area. So today we're chatting to the warm and welcoming Brian Chalmers, who's the owner of Tatenda Guest House, which is in Hazyview. Brian, how are you doing?
Hi, David. Doing well. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity to chat to you.
It's only a pleasure. Tatenda, firstly, what does it mean? And why Hazyview?
Well, Tatenda means thank you in Shona.
Right.
It's I think, quite a nice apt name for thanking people for coming to visit us. And the name came from the previous owners who set up the guest house. I actually met the owners just last week. They popped in here to say hi. They couldn't believe the size of the trees that since they last saw the guest house. So it was quite amazing. So that was very.
When was their last visit?
They were here 14 years ago.
Oh, wow. Because that's one of the things that I really, if I go back to our screen share, one of the things I really liked about staying at your guest house, we'll get back to that, is that sort of view.
Yeah.
The gardens are glorious. They really and truly are.
No, it's it's one of the things that attracted us to the guest house when we bought it.
Right.
The garden and of course the potential that lay in the garden. It's changed a lot in the 3 years that we've been here. We paid a lot of attention and focused on developing the garden, putting a lot of more plants into it, and moving into a more sort of eco-friendly gardening way to let the plants grow naturally.
You're going to come home one day and not be able to see your guest house because it will be enveloped in a forest.
Oh yeah, well, that's the aim, is to do that. But of course, I own 2 chainsaws, which get put to use quite often.
I think everybody needs to have at least one chainsaw. I'm too scared to use them. I have to admit, I had a circular saw, one of those handheld ones, and I eventually got rid of it because those sort of power tools scare me. I can deal with drills and stuff like that, but anything that's got a blade that's spinning, angle grinders, all that sort of thing. Hiring somebody who brings it with them.
We bought one of these long extender chainsaws to cut the tips off long poles.
Right.
We bought it, we set it up, and I said to Vusi, our garden engineer, please just set everything up. We want to start working on the tree. And I was busy with guests. The next thing I hear, the chainsaw running. And Yari was at the top of the tree cutting branches off. So he likes to play with toys.
Fair enough. So talk to us, because when my wife and I stayed with you just recently, I wasn't expecting, I suppose I hadn't done enough homework. And I certainly, when I walked through the doors of this log cabin, was not expecting what I found inside, Brian.
Yeah.
And that's in a good way.
The log cabin started off as what was going to be my workshop and staff quarters and a laundry.
Right.
And we were here for a few months, and I got very tired of saying sorry to guests that we don't have accommodation. So I said to my wife, no, this is now going to become accommodation. So we in midstream of construction said to the builder, we're going to change a little bit of the design inside to add a second bathroom and make it a full-on guest cottage.
Right.
Which is what we do. Yeah.
Now,
to answer the design inside, we looked at various options from the company that built it. They have demo models built, and we didn't like any of theirs. So we went a little bit searching on the internet, and found something like, as you can see in the picture there, with the wood paneling below and the drywalling above.
Right.
And we said that's kind of the picture we want, and they did an absolutely awesome job putting it together.
True enough, because that's the main bedroom. There's an ensuite off that, but when you walk in, there is a kitchen, there is another sleeping area, and then, as you mentioned, the second bathroom, which is not a full bathroom, it's a toilet, hand basin, and shower, which is more than enough.
Plenty, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if we look at those,
yes,
towel animals seemed, the first time we came across them was on a cruise, but now everybody,
yes.
I'm not sure if those are Ewoks or bulldogs or something else that is just sort of slowly melting before our very faces.
Yeah, it's probably some Star Wars animated character that they've put together. We sent our staff on a training course to learn, to get to familiarize themselves with what's expected in terms of housekeeping.
Right.
And the towels, the folding of the towels was an add-on. They'd decided that they'll teach them how to do various little animals.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, now, for sure. And it certainly helps.
Aside from that log cabin, which is really, really comfy and very spacious, what other accommodation do you have to offer the weary traveler that comes through?
The weary traveler.
In
Hazyview. So the log cabin is one of 3 of our self-catering units that sleeps 4 people. Then we've got a 6-sleeper self-catering unit and a double ensuite self-catering unit.
Okay.
Then we've got on the further out on the side of the property, we've got 4 B&B rooms. So they sleep. We've got 2 family units, which sleeps. So it's got a double bed and a single bed, and then 2 double bed rooms, each with the ensuite bathroom.
And those are. It sounds weird when I say below the house, but they are. But it's not like living in somebody's basement.
Yeah, it's an illusion. You see, you've got the building is built on a slope.
Yeah.
So you enter the top floor from ground level, really.
Yeah.
Although you've walked up steps to get there, and then you walk downstairs. Some guests think it's like living in a cave, but I must admit the design helps with natural cooling, because you're almost tucked into the side of the mountain or in the side of the slope. So you get all the cooling going on from the ground, which actually makes it nice and comfortable.
I was going to say, in the summer, yes. In the winter, I'm not so sure if I want coolth. I want warmth.
Well, it's let's say call it thermally neutral.
Oh,
might be a better way to put it. Yes.
There we go. Is that a new term? I stayed in a neutral room. That's being really PC, Brian.
Yeah, there we go.
Absolutely nothing to do with PC, but just thinking of the C part of P, which is C for cats. Have you got your new cat yet?
No, he was due to come here in 3 weeks from now. Right. We got notice today that we're getting him on Sunday.
Oh, wow. That's fabulous.
So we're really, really looking forward to going to fetch him.
Have you warned the others on the property that there is a newbie about to arrive?
We've been talking to his new life partner that he's getting a friend to join him.
Fair enough.
I'll send someone to go and see if we can catch him. I'll put him on the screen here and everyone can see him.
Okay, because your boy is really cool. He really and truly is. Features on the blog posting that I did for you guys.
Yes, I saw that. It was awesome. Thanks.
Yeah,
since you last saw him, he's grown a mane, and he's all fluffy with his winter coat. So
winter coat,
almost twice the size now.
Wow, that is really something, because he's a big boy. Just on that note, I always say that a game lodge and a guest house isn't complete unless it has a dog or a cat that comes to greet new guests. Do you find this? Do your guests take kindly to your animals, or are there people who go, no, I don't want that thing near me, and if it comes in my room, I'm moving out?
Yeah, no, we do have both sides of the scale there. Some people absolutely love and adore the cats, but we have not a lot. There's I would say about 40% of guests simply don't like cats.
Okay.
And they prefer to walk around the building as opposed to past the cat. Yeah. But,
yeah, because
unfortunately, our cats are more inclined to stay to themselves and not walk after people, so that's fine.
I have to say that I don't know why I'm harping on about the cats. It's just that I enjoy them, because we stayed in Barberton and the cat moved in with us while we were there.
Okay.
The house cat. And we threatened, we said to the owner, if we leave and your cat's no longer here, don't look in our suitcase, basically. You know where it's gone.
Yeah.
Brian, you talk about self-catering and B&B. Does that mean that you do food, or people can bring their own, or you offer a mix? I mean, if you're staying in the log cabin, can you have breakfast at the main house with the B&B guests?
Yeah, we do both options. We offer both options. So if the guests are staying in the self-catering unit, we offer them breakfast, and we also do dinners on request for guests. We've got 2 in-house chefs that stay with us, my daughter and her boyfriend, and they make an awesome spread when we want them to.
Right.
And yeah, so it started really in lockdown that they both lost their jobs, and we asked them to move up to Hazyview to stay with us, because of course they couldn't afford to stay on their own anymore.
Yeah.
And basically through lockdown, we set up a menu for our guests, and we did quite a lot of good business during lockdown to supply our guests with meals until the restaurant started opening again.
Yeah, and the meal that we had there that evening that we spent with you was superb. It really was. Again, not what I was expecting. The kudu I was expecting, because it's Hazyview, it's that sort of area there. They're kudu wandering around that are prepared to donate their lives to the cause. But the mussels, and considering I don't normally eat those, I did enjoy them. I'm learning to become slightly a more adventurous eater. And the only reason I say that is because when places like yourself send, what are your dietary requirements, to send them a 14-page document going, I don't do this and I don't do that. It's easier just to go, you know what, put it down in front of me. I'll always just have a little. If I'm really not mad about it, I'll have a taste and go, I'm saving myself for the main course type of thing.
Yeah, no, it's we like to when we do a spread, we like to make a little bit of an effort to put it together, and I think I certainly enjoyed it. It was quite nice.
It was indeed. Now you've got I showed momentarily. Let's just go back there again, because I do like your gardens. Let's get out of the bedroom and out into the garden. You've got all sorts of wonderful spaces that guests can go and, in inverted commas, hide in if necessary.
Yeah, we try to accommodate. Obviously, we sleep up to 22 people,
right?
And it's not all one group. So sometimes in the past when we started, we saw everyone kind of sitting on one deck.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit of uncomfortable feeling there. So we added on a couple of areas like the boma. We've added on some seating around the one side of the property. And then we also got the gazebo on the other side, and a deck with more seating on it. So it's now little nookies for guests to sit at and enjoy the.
There's the boy. Let's get.
There's the man.
There's the boy. Look at that.
There we go.
He's like mine. He seems to trying to figure out, why is this machine talking to me? The moment he's about to pounce.
He's saying, what on earth is going on here?
And
This is Highlanders McKendrick. He's
Yeah.
a Mancoon, and he weighs just on 6 kilos at the moment.
Right.
7 kilos at the moment.
Yeah.
And he's 18 months old.
3 months.
18 months.
Oh, 18. I lost
Still
you
a
on
kitten. Yeah, they
Yeah.
grow. They keep growing until they're about 4 or 5 years old.
And
So
he's
he's still a
going.
kitten.
Yeah, if that thing lands on you in the middle of the night, 7 kgs on you when you're not expecting it is like a small child.
That's for sure. There we go. Off he goes.
Thanks for sharing him. Hazyview, and more specifically, Tatenda is used as a base by your guests, is it not? They will come, they'll stay with you, maybe go into the park for the day, go and do some adventure activities, and then come back and sleep there of an evening.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We focus, or we have 2 types of guests. Is business guests. They come here and they spend the evening here, and then they go and do their business in town. Some stay just one night, some stay a couple of nights, depending what business they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's mostly during the week. In the weekends and the holidays, obviously a lot more tourists come through. And we do find we certainly are a lovely base for guests that want to go to the park and explore the panorama route and all the adventure attractions that is available in Hazyview. So it's a nice mix that we've got. We're fortunate to have a good mix of business and leisure. But we are very nicely located close to the panorama route, and obviously just 10 kilometers from the Kruger Park, which makes it nice and easy accessible for the park.
And if you're a lazy birder, you don't even have to leave Tatenda, because your bird life, including something that I was not expecting to see, trumpet or hornbills, are right there in the garden.
Yeah, well, we've seen in the last 3 years. Obviously, we focused a lot on developing the natural garden and the gardens, the leaves, and that are left in the garden. So we get a lot of birds that forage amongst the leaves, and it's quite amazing. We've seen the fruiting trees just blossoming with massive amount of fruit, which of course attracts all the fruit-eating birds and the nachappies, the bush babies.
Okay.
They all come and hang around in the trees. We get owls as well, so it's very nice. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. And then the one area that we forgot to mention, and I don't have a picture of it set up for today, is the pool area, which is also really, really nice.
Yeah. No, the pool is nice. It's especially for the self-catering unit. But all of them basically look out onto the swimming pool.
Right.
And we in December we decided that we would make the pool a heated pool. So it's got solar panels that heat the pool, because I got very tired of watching guests sitting around the pool and not swimming. So we spent the money and put solar panels onto the pool, which basically took a pool that was an average of 22 degrees to, in summer it gets to 28 degrees, which is really nice.
It's like bath temperature. That's glorious. But that's not this here. This is a pond with fish.
Yeah, that's a small pond. Actually, when we got to the guest house, there was just nothing in there. It was just weeds and dead stuff. It was just, it's got a drain in the bottom which was left open, so just all the water that would have collected just disappeared.
Right.
But we fixed it up, cleaned it up, sealed all the cracks, and we put a filter system in, and we've got some I think there's 5 different variety of fish in there.
Okay.
And it's a nice attraction. We have guests coming there, especially the kids wanting to feed the fish and throw food in for them. So it's quite nice for the kids as well.
This Boma area, which is where we sort of had pre-dinner drinks the evening that we were with you. Talk to me about that, because that seems to be a wonderful area and great place. I think if you've got, you said 22 possible guests, but it's a nice place for guests to come and chat to each other, much like a game lodge, where they've been for the day, what they've experienced. I'm not talking about business, but more the leisure traveler. But it's a nice, friendly space to be in.
Yeah, the thought of the boma started. Of course, guests ask, "Do you have a boma? Yes or no?" And it's always been no. And then we had a wildlife photographer who uses us as a base for his guests. He put on his marketing, sit around the fire, enjoy a discussion about the travel in the park and all sorts of things like that. We didn't have a fire to sit around. So we had this little footpath that walked down the side of the property, and we decided, now, okay, we'll have to put one in to align ourselves with his marketing.
Right.
And so just before lockdown, we started the groundwork, and of course during lockdown we had the time and the I wouldn't say resources, but the
well, you had the time basically.
We had the time, and we made do with donations of poles and things like that from friends.
Okay.
To put it all together. And yeah, it came out really nice. It took a while to get it all together, but it's turned out nice, and it is so popular. I mean, it's literally we're almost thinking of making a booking system, because a lot of the guests say, "Oh, we want to sit there."
I was just about to
well
ask you, have you got bookings on a first come, first serve basis? They sort of send an advance party who have to sit there the entire day waiting for them to come back so that only they can spend time in that boma.
Yeah, I know. Fortunately, it hasn't got that far yet, but we have had inquiries where they overlap, so we've had to kind of work around it and see what we can.
Yeah. Talking about overlaps, I don't know how I'm going to take this as a segue. I know that you and I chatted when I was there about things people take from guest houses, and we all know back in the day everybody took the soap and the shampoo and the conditioner and the shower caps, and I have no idea why people take shower caps, because how many do you need? And then of course there was the paper, the pad of paper next to the telephone, and the pencil or pen, and that all vanished. And I think the owners of the properties almost expected that to go. Because it's a marketing tool, really.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, what have you had at Tatenda that has vanished and you've gone, really? They took that?
It's hangers from the cupboards.
Right.
And batteries from the remotes.
You've got to be kidding.
Yeah, I've had it where a remote, the girls come and say when they're cleaning the rooms, the remote's not working.
Right.
So I go in, and some of them I find a teeth mark where they've actually bitten the battery. For what reason, I've no idea, but certainly hangers, batteries. Oh yes, and of course teaspoons. The teaspoons is a pain in my bum. It's always a teaspoon here and there gone.
All right. Well, look, I didn't take teaspoons. I hid them. So if you find them buried in your garden or under the cat bowl, just have a look. They're there. Check the fish pond. And then also, I know that you told me the story because it's in my blog, about the people who arrived at your property one night and said that they'd booked in.
Oh, goodness me, yeah, shame. I felt so sorry for them. One of the group had stayed here before. So she was tasked with making the booking for the next, for the group that wanted to come.
Right.
So of course she went online and made a booking. And little did she know that she'd selected Tatenda in Mount Frere, Eastern Cape.
Right.
So of course they all pitched up here, and you know, it was a group of 10 people, maybe 12, I don't know. But they had many cars. So the first group arrived here, but the lady that made the booking was in the last car to arrive. So they're all middled around here saying, yes, we've got a booking, and I'm saying, I can't help you, but let's see what we can do. Eventually the girl arrived, and she showed me all the paperwork and the payment slip where she paid. I said, but this isn't us, this is Mount Frere. So of course I think she was not very popular that evening. So yeah, so I always say to guests, please, even when I correspond with them, please check all the details, dates, location, everything, so that there's no misunderstandings.
Did you manage to put them up though?
They had family in Nelspruit, so they all made their way back to Nelspruit late at night and went and stayed there. Yeah.
I should imagine she was not too popular. Was she left behind at your guest house?
That's it. Yeah. And the sad thing for me is it was a nice big booking, and they did actually want to stay with us. It wasn't like it was a mistake or anything like that. They wanted to stay because this girl had actually sold us. And I said, "Oh, Tatenda, lovely place. Let's go there for the weekend."
Be interesting to see if they got their deposit back from Tatenda in Mount Frere.
They were going to try, but I don't think they would have got it.
Brian, in wrapping up today, firstly, thanks for joining me, because I know it's busy time now. People are coming up to the park. They like that area. The weather's still reasonable. It hasn't gotten freezing cold or boiling hot yet. Contact details. How do people get hold of you?
The best is to send an email to booking without the S, booking at Tatenda Guest House.com. And then we're on Facebook, and they can find us on Facebook at Tatenda Guest House. And contact us from there. There's a WhatsApp link on the Facebook page as well. And of course the website. Sorry, the website is www.tatendaguesthouse.com.
And just make sure, people, that it's Tatenda Guest House in Hazyview, not in the Eastern Cape, because late at night you can't drive all the way from Hazyview to Mount Frere. It's just not going to work.
I must tell you one more thing about Mount Frere and Hazyview, Tatenda.
Yeah.
I had a guy from the KFC come to a delivery. He says, I got a delivery for Tatenda. So I said, okay, I don't have any guests tonight. We didn't order. Now he says, definitely Tatenda 303 Tarantal Lane, Hazyview. So I said, show me your order. Then he showed it. It was all there. So then I said, let me phone this person. No, she says, we're not at Tatenda, we're across the road. But I said, there's a block of flats across the road from us. No, she says, there's a house across the road. So I said, where are you? No, she says she's in Mount Frere. So I said, well,
I've got
KFC's not going to deliver at Mount Frere.
I've got your chicken. My guest today has been Brian Chalmers, who's the owner of Tatenda Guest House in Hazyview. And this edition of In Conversation With is brought to you by Rugged Wear, real people, real clothing, real solutions. Brian, thank you so much for being my guest today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you, and hope to see you in the not too distant future.
David, thanks very much. You're always welcome. And everyone else looking for a place in Hazyview to stay, close to the park, close to the panorama route, please give us a call. Thanks.
I've got news for you people. If you're there when I'm there, we're going to fight for the Boma.